79s. Awesome. Storage in the 79s. We're gonna fix that today. I'm gonna make a custom roof console. Yes, you can buy them. 1, they're expensive. 2, don't really want to pay that much for something that really at the end of the day doesn't offer you a huge amount of storage. They look kind of nice, but I'm like, you know what? I reckon I can make semi ballpark the same sort of thing for like a fraction of the price. So I'm gonna give that a crack today, and I'm gonna take you for along the ride. Rightio, so the first stage of this is to get your template. So you can pretty much use anything that you want. I recommend something just you can cut with scissors. So I've just got an old empty beer carton. So pretty much what the plan of attack is, with this rooftop console, I want to try and pick up as many factory holes as I can. I do not want to be making any new ones pretty much, which is doable. Just take a little bit of planning, but it's very doable. So pretty much what the plan is, I'm going for the T-shape look. So it's going to come here and then it's going to spread across both sides. So whoever the passenger is has their storage above their head as well for some, you know, whatever, like wallets or all that. There's not going to be that much heavy stuff going up here. It's just sort of more of an organizer, or, you know, maybe down the track I might add in rocker switches or whatever. But I like the look of them, so that's why I'm doing it. So because, as you can see, this roof has a pretty mean curve in it, I'm going to follow this, obviously, and come down so I can pick up these 2 holes at the back here. So to do that, you're going to have to make a template. So just holding that up, I'm just going to trace around it and cut it with a pair of scissors. So that's going to go there, go along the roof here, and then we're going to come to like sort of this divot here in the roof. And that's pretty much where the T section's going to start. Rightio, so that took way more than I thought. I haven't done much of this stuff before, pretty much ever. So obviously you can see I've had to get a new piece of cardboard and ripped up some old soft drink cans. So then we just put it up, so you back it up there, and that's pretty much where I want it to be, ish. On to the next step is to mark it on the timber. Rightio, so plan of attack now. I've just clamped them down. I'm just using the straight edge of the ply because it does look pretty straight. Draw her up, cut her, and go from there. Rightio, so we got to cut out like so. So all we're going to do now is just get these little things, little L brackets. They're going to sit like that, and then that's just going to go up, and that's going to make it nice and square going down the line. Rightio, so all I'm using is just some little 20mm bugle head screws. Like that. Rightio, so the next step is I'm going to whack in a couple downlights on it. They're just going to be hooked into the factory, where the factory light was anyway. So they're going to come on when you open the door, but they also have a little push button, so if you're driving you can turn them on as well. Yeah, another step forward.
The next day.
So classic project. I started this yesterday on Sunday, and now it's Monday night after work, because this took a lot longer than I initially expected. In my head I was going to get this knocked over in an afternoon, which is not the case at all. Update. So I've got this made, it's all well, got some downlight holes cut out as you've seen, but now I'm up to trying to figure out the mounting position of it. What I've done, this length here, it goes already to the windscreen, like it goes past the rear view mirror to the windscreen, and so what's that made me do is it's made it very difficult to try and get a bracket inside to mount up. So me and Richo, we've been talking, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to cut along here. I'll cut about probably 100mm off, 75mm, and then that's going to allow me to mount a bracket here and then onto that. It's just going to be a lot easier screwing from outside the console rather than inside. So yeah, hopefully that solves our mounting problem. So stay tuned for that. And yes, I'm using the old trusty saw because it's late at night and got neighbours. Nice and straight. Please be straight. That's it. Oh dear. Come on, be nice. Oh, I need the absolute piss ripped out of me for this. Hang on, let's start one side. Oh my goodness. This is almost too hard. Cut isn't that straight. That's all right. It's all good not to be straight. It's all good. It's all good. So what we're gonna do, yeah, as I said, put those brackets on, and then hopefully I'm probably gonna do a trip to Bunnings to get some more brackets to go onto the factory holes. But if you're wondering how I'm gonna get to these back holes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut a slot here, and then put some mesh or whatever you do it. Like the fancy stuff to make it look nice. I'm gonna put it there, and that's gonna give me enough room to get a drill up and put it through like that. So that's sort of my plan of attack with there. So enough talking, let's get into it, eh? Rightio, update. So I can't lie, I've spat the dummy a few times with this bloody project because shit just isn't going to plan. But that's alright. Stuff happens. This is, you know, this is what happens with custom stuff. So I'll show you what I'm up to. Pretty much this is what the internals look of it like just now. So I've got my two downlight holes here. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna screw this in from the sides on each one. And then I'm gonna have a look at brackets and mounting it. So I'll take you there when I'm up to there. Just hold on. Rightio, it's on the third night of the week, and I decided to go a different way. So this is what we're dealing with now, as you've seen, and I don't like it. So you're probably wondering, well, what is he gonna do? Well, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but better. So by that I mean, originally I was using 4mm ply. I've upgraded to 12. I meant to get 9. But you know, we'll run it. So I'm gonna upgrade to 12, I've decided. And I'm just gonna try and do it a bit more better, to be honest, because like, as you can see here, let me flip it around. This is bloody, that's a dog's breakfast. Like, that is just not nice. This is crap to work with. So, but that's all right. You know, it's a project. You're gonna ups and downs. So I'm gonna still use the same template because that actually fit quite well on the roof. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this new bit up, sand it nicely. Gonna cut that groove out a bit nicer and maybe a little bit wider, so I'm having like the full use of the console rather than just like a little section of it. I'm gonna do just the centerpiece for now. I'm not gonna do the wings. Pure because I just don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I'm gonna live with this for a bit, and then I'm gonna make it so that the wings can just add on later. I don't have to do that right now. So just gonna do the centerpiece for now, and we'll run that. So let's get into some cutting. Rightio, so I've got them both cut out. I actually... got that all cut out there. I still need to sand it back and just make some minor adjustments. But when I did this one, I made the mistake of putting all these sides together and then realizing I wanted a bay in the middle. And you can look at it and it's... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out when they're clamped together, just like how I cut the outline of it, just so they're symmetrical. I'm also going to go with a larger opening as well, just because like I realised that's just a lot of wasted space that I could be using. So I will figure out how to just protect the downlights a little bit. That's a bit later on. So yeah, next step is just gonna cut this out, sort of roughly like that. Try and get a nice curve on it. No promises, but I'll try my best. And yeah, so let's get stuck into it. Oh, that's why I got stuck. Well, I've got the side of the table. Well, there you go. All good.
Well done, mate. I'm glad you see you redid it again. That's really good. It'll be much better.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job, pal.
This is where we're up to now. What I decided to do is just get this long bit of continuous bit of metal, and that's just going to go along there, and I still want to give it that rigidity. I want to make it stronger going along the side there. And so I believe that by putting one long piece rather than all these individual pieces, I think it's going to be a bit better. Plus this time I'm going to put wood glue down as well, just to help it not come apart pretty much. So yeah, hopefully what I'm thinking up here I can put down there, and it just all works out bloody well, and crack beers and we laugh and we cheer. And anyway, I'll get back to it, to screwing and gluing. Right, so first thing what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pre-drill and drill the side here, so that when I take that off and glue it and push it back down, that means it can go in straight away without having to try and adjust the glue while still trying to set any smudged glue everywhere. It's just the little things. So, and that should be pretty much fine. So let's go ahead and rip in. So now that I got this side all pre-drilled and screwed, what I'm gonna do is unclip that. Then hopefully it'll just be a matter of whacking it down and just lining up the holes. So this is what I'm using, just some Tarzan wood glue, go for Bunnings. Give her a good old shake first. Gonna do a strip along here. Like so. Boom. It's just a matter of lining these up with the holes, making sure she's square on this side. I'm gonna clamp it down first where I want it. Rightio, clamp him down like that. So now we're just gonna help it keep it nice and square. Rightio. That's pretty much her there. Pretty happy with how that's sort of lying. So, oh dear, I'll show you. So we do have a bit of leakage and stuff on the side, but just gonna do the exact same for the other side. I'll just probably speed that up because you've already seen me do this side. Rightio, so that's her up all there, pretty solid. And then tomorrow, hopefully, going to start looking at brackets and start looking at how to mount this dog, because that's sort of the last tricky stage, and then run to the fun bit with wrapping and cool stuff and putting some bungee and all that sort of cool stuff with it. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Rightio, so it is the next night. So all right, can you start off like that? Hang on. All I'm thinking is oh, rightio. All right. Okay, so oh, come on. So it's the next night. That drew blood straight away. Ow!
What did you hit them
I
on?
literally just slammed it on the screws coming up. I drew a bang! Right, yeah. Cut. So it's the following night. So I've left the clamps on all day. So pretty much all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove all these clamps as so. Rightio. So that is honestly solid as you like. That is so much better than the last one. Honestly, I really am thankful for my past self for doing the wood glue. The wood glue has saved just the parts that I haven't put the angle in. So like these parts up here are still super solid, which is really good. So the plan tonight, I got home from work pretty late, so that's all right. So what I'm gonna do is I've just got all these like old screw heads sticking out still. So all I'm gonna do is just grind them off really quick, make them flat. And then I've done a bit of a dodgy job cutting this bottom piece. As you can see, it's overlapping the side piece there by a bit, which is all good. I've just got to sand that down so it's flat. And then once that's all sanded down, try and do the brackets and at least try and get them mounted up and all bent up and in. So yeah, we'll start off with grinding off and see how we go. Rightio, so believe it or not, this is actually the first fitment after all that sanding and stuff, but I was basing it off the old one and I kept checking, so this should be pretty close. But anyway, so what we're gonna do, next stage, bracketing. So that's gonna sit up there like that, which doesn't fit too shabby actually. Rightio, so, rightio, let's try again. Rightio. So, we're up to the bending bit. So what I've pretty much done is I'm just using 3mm alley. Just got like a meter length from Bunnings. So all I'm gonna do pretty much is, I haven't measured anything in true fashion. So all I'm gonna pretty much do is just bend and test. Bend, test, bend, test. Yes, there is easier ways to do this. You can use bloody angle finders, all that sort of stuff. But I have none of that, so I'm just gonna give this a go. So without further ado, let's get into bending this aluminium.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
That was a lot easier than I thought actually. Let's go to the car and see how we did. I tell you what. Yep, that's far off still. Righto, we're close. We're very close, but we'll just go up just a... I'm not mad with that at all. I reckon that's the angle we're going to run with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the piece of wood on the roof console. I'll cut this to length because obviously this straight bit's a bit too long, so I'll cut that a bit shorter. Bolt her up. It's actually looking not too shabby actually. Rightio, let's go and drill some holes. Rightio, so coming onto the cutting bench, I am going to square this off. Sweet, so that's what we're looking at there pretty much. So cut it there and I'll drill 2 holes in at the same time. But what I'm going to do first, just going to cut off this excess bit. Rightio, so now that they're both cut, what I'm going to do is just drill 2 holes in it to go into the rearview mirror. So what I'm going to do, because it really, obviously you want it center, so what I'm going to do is measure the distance between those 2 holes. Then I'm just going to get center of this, and then I'll just go out to each hole. So that means that I have to put this bracket center of this. I'll measure it so it's center of the console, so then hopefully that should all line up center, and then that'll make the back lining up a lot easier as well. I'll get to the back, I'm pretty sure I've explained it. Keep losing track, sorry. Yep, so work on the vise and drill some holes. That's 15mm. Oh, remember that. I want that center. What's that?
Can you remember all those numbers, Ando?
245. 245. 1. Carry the 1.
I can see steam coming out of your ears.
I can feel steam. You could cook a roast in this head right now. Boom. Oh, no. Oh, shit. I measured on the wrong bit. Stand by. Rightio. First test fit. I'll show you soon, but this is pretty much my 3rd bracket that I've made. Measured it all up. I drilled the holes. Time for the moment of truth. So I'm gonna get Richo. Gonna help me hold it up. Let's screw this in.
Alright, let's go, Ando. I got confidence in you.
Oh, look at that. Which it does.
Love it.
Yes. Oh, thank goodness. Look, you can see there's a little bit of gap going around there, but when the covering's on, that should be fine. Oh, look at, and that'll sit in its original position.
That's the go, eh?
Oh, well, that is a milestone in this Should have been a half-day project, turned into every night after work for a week project.
2 weeks.
Friday and Saturday don't count, I was busted. So the next stage is to finally get the back bit on. And that's the plan tonight. Just get the back bit on, and I want this to be up there on the both brackets. And tomorrow's a different issue. So let's focus on the back now. We'll make sure the front's all screwed in nice, all that sort of jazz. But we're looking good. We're looking good. Rightio. So, as soon before, front's all done. So, we have moved to the back now. So, as you can see, all I've done, got a piece there, and I've just pretty much just followed the angle that is. So, pretty much all the plan is now is to be ridiculously precise and just nail it first time. Crack a beer for celebration and move on to the next task. I'm going to drill 3 holes in total. The middle hole is going to be for the cable because I'm going to put a couple like downlights in here for the cab as the interior light. And then the other 2, they're going to be spaced out where the holes were originally for the light. And then just going to be a little bit bigger than normal. And I've actually, because it's going to be pretty bloody precise to try and nail those 2, I'm just going to make the hole a bit bigger. And I just cut off a bit of this and just use that, and then I just got a pair of tin snips, and that's going to be good there. Nice thick washer, but also small enough that screw's not going to fall through. So don't bloody judge me on my washer skills, because yeah, I know that is about, you know, looks as good as a painter's radio. So that's all right. It's still going to do the job. No one's going to be hopping in the car then peeping to the back of the roof console. So it is going to work. So righto, enough talk. I'll get into it. Rightio, so there we go. So I've just used a 16mm, just ordinary spade bit. I did have a bit of a bloody whoopsie, but that's all right. I think it's a moment of truth. I think this is it. So I'm gonna get Richo in to hold it. Fingers crossed this Bessie holds, because I'm gonna be pretty bloody upset if it doesn't. But anyway, we're not gonna think about that. We're gonna get into it, so let's go. Hold it right there if you can. Oh, nowhere near. All right, let's just do this tomorrow. Yeah, let's do this tomorrow. Rightio, so today is the final day. I'm going to finish this thing. So she's sitting up there at the moment. As I want it, it's all pretty happy. What I'm going to do today, I've got downlights to do, some wiring, some internal carpeting, and then put the vinyl on the outside. I tried to, instead of marine carpet, went with like a vinyl finish, trying to make it look as factory as possible. So that's the game plan today. So let's bloody get into it. So unfortunately the sound wasn't, I forgot to check the sound was working the last one, but pretty much I was just saying that the vinyl is all done. Finally, it's all done. I've whacked the lights in, they've turned out pretty mint. So with all that done, now it's up to the wiring stage. Like with these lights, they tell you which one's positive and negative to make it even easier for us. So all I'm literally gonna do is strip that back to copper, solder it on. That's gonna have a little link here like that to join this one. And then the feed that was coming from the rear light, that's gonna join onto that as well. So it'll just be daisy chaining like that pretty much. So come along and we'll show you how it's done. Rightio, so we're like 98% done, which is bloody awesome. So all the soldering's done pretty much, just except for one. I've just used these little clips here. I'm trying to keep it to one side just to help, you know, the cables from getting damaged. I am going to put marine carpet over this, so you know it won't look this ugly. So that's all good. So the next stage is I am going to have my UHF up there, as I've said. So the cable that GME supply you with, it's great, but it's just not long enough to reach. So I've got to go from behind my dash up the pillar and into the console. So it's close, but it's just not long enough. So thankfully, the plug style that they use is called an RJ45 plug. And so luckily, me being a Sparky, I got some RJ45 plugs. And the cable that I'm going to replace it with is just a Cat6 cable. So Cat6 cable is pretty much, just for you who don't know, is a data cable. So it's got 8 conductors inside. So I'll be able to crimp a plug on either end. As long as you do whatever you do at the top, just make sure you do exactly down the bottom, and then you should have no dramas at all. So I'm gonna get to running that, and hopefully that should be like the last tricky bit. Then after that's just whacking marine carpet in and putting her up. Rightio, that took a bit longer than expected. That was quite tricky. There is next to no room in this pillar getting up, but that's all right. We made it. So that's going to track along there, and I just got to figure out a way to get it from there in, and then down here, just behind the dash, is where I'm going to connect up this end and put the module and all that stuff in behind there. So rightio. So my brain's been frying, thinking of a solution that I'm going to be able to do without squashing the cable, but then yet also hiding it. The game plan that I'm sort of going to go with, is not the most ideal one in the world. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little tiny hole just above where the rearview mirror goes, just above there, for that cable to go through, and that will allow it to go into the roof console like that. That way you'll never see the cable, you know, just going from there into it. It'll just be straight in, and the console will cover the hole itself. So I'm not the biggest fan of cutting a hole in the roof lining, but look, it's all right. It's all right, and hopefully that does the trick. So let's do it. Sweet, rightio. So that's actually not terrible. Next step. So when it comes to like actually mounting this, you can pretty much mount it anywhere that you can find. So what I've done is, what I'm going to do, I've just got a little pack there. So all that's going to do is that's just going to probably sit exactly like that. I'm just going to double size sticky tape. That's how it was before. So that's going to double size sticky tape there, and then the glove box is still going to fit in. And also that gives me room to plug the Cat6 cable on the top, and then also the cable from the antenna to the bottom here, like that, like so. So there's been a slight issue just with how the UHF is sitting. So it's sitting all well, but like that's just gonna drive me nuts. I haven't really thought of a game plan yet on how I'm going to rectify it, but in the meantime, I'm just going to get the inside of the console all done. So I'm going to cut up some marine carpet, glue that on, and get that sorted so that when Richo rocks back up, I can pretty much put that up straight away, because the UHF won't hold us back there. So get into it. I think they got it. Just. And I mean just. Rightio. She's all done. Thank goodness, because I'm not going to lie, this kind of wasn't worth it. If I'm being honest, for what I put into it to the result, like, yeah, it looks pretty nice, but I think I'd probably buy one next time, to be honest. But anyway, she's all in and she's all done. The only thing I just got to fix is with the UHF, I just want to pin it up so that's not frailing in the breeze everywhere. And then eventually I just want to get some, like a barrier that goes in this gap here. Just want to try and get that, like shock cord or something like that. But yeah, no, she's all good. So yeah, work with the door. You can also turn them off and on through here. Yeah, got the UHF mounted up here, which is all good. So look, it's been a mission. It's been a big mission. So roof console is done. It's finished. I'm not looking at it again. I'm just gonna use it for what it is, and that's it. So all I've got to do now, I've just got to mount the aerial for the UHF, plug that in, and we'll show you at the end if she all works. Rightio, so back on the UHF dilemma. So as I showed you before, this bracket here, no good. It's super flimsy. Unfortunately, I am just going to go back to putting this just on the bumper there, just the front there. Like it's not ideal, I get that, but I really wanted to keep it clean. But anyway, you know, what can you do? That's all good. So gonna whack that on, run it through, connect her up, and hopefully that'll be the end of today. So let's get into mounting this UHF. Rightio, she is all done and dusted. The UHF is working now. So like I said before, only thing I need to do now is just tidy up this little dangly bit, but she's done. So I really hope that you've learnt something from this. I certainly have. I've learned that I'm not going to do it again because it was a pain in the ass. It is a bit of fun tackling projects like this. Like I said, I hope you've learnt something along the way and enjoyed the video. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.